Hey guys, and welcome back to another Cultured Boys discussion. I'm Pepe and I'm joined by Nathan, and today we're doing another one of our bread and butter things, you know what I mean? Jesus Christ, that's cringe. But anyway, it is our manga review.
Cringe is back.
Cringe is back. God damn it, you ruined it in the intro. Says the guy that made the absolute cringe intro. It's manga review. Yay. And today we're going to be looking at two series which started in Jump quite recently, and those are Aliens, Area and Ruri Dragon.
Yay.
Before we jump into it, how are you, Nate?
I am good. It's always an interesting time to talk about new manga. Feels like we get lots of it, and then sometimes feels like we get none of it. So this week is I'm interested because these could not be more different.
Yeah, very true.
So yeah, I'm excited.
Sweet. Okay then, yeah, it'd be good to jump into these, but let's do that then. Should we start with Aliens Area?
Yes, Aliens Area, written and illustrated by Fusai Naba, published June 6th, 2022. As of recording, 7 chapters out. So it's still like super fresh and hasn't quite reached that point. You know, that danger zone point for Jump where it's like, oh, is it gonna stay or not?
Yeah. So
Aliens Area is about a high schooler, Tatsumi Tatsunami. He lost his yeah, I know, right? Great name. It's a superhero thing all over again. He lost his parents at a young age, and he works multiple part-time jobs to support himself and his younger siblings. But it turns out that aliens injected his right arm with some sort of technology or material or something, and now he's different. It's just sort of like, you know, shonen stuff now.
It's just shonen stuff. Like, yeah.
Once he discovers this, the next main character, Hajime Sharaku, turns up. He's from the Foreign Affairs Division 5. And they're like Earth's alien detective squad. But not like they're made up of aliens. They deal with aliens and stuff. And they basically help him out and try to recruit him to Foreign Affairs Division 5, and hilarity and adventures ensue, I guess.
Yeah, it's still quite early days with this, so we find out that Tatsumi, he gets brought into Foreign Affairs Division 5 in like probably about the second chapter, really.
Pretty much.
Like the first chapter is like an introduction. It's like that's where he finds out he has the powers. Hajime is trying to like track him down, like all this kind of thing. It's really setting up the story in like chapters 1 and 2, and even by chapter 7 we're still kind of really early on in the story. We still don't know all the ins and outs of certain things.
Yeah,
we've met like some like peaceful aliens. We've met some aliens that are like assassins. There's like quite a few different things going on right now.
Yeah, and we're like still learning each character's sort of like motivation for things.
Yeah,
because like Hajime is still really mysterious.
Yes,
and he's, you know, I guess it's kind of fitting at the moment that we as the reader are also learning all this stuff like alongside Tatsumi, because like he's now doing on the job training, whereas we're like reading it alongside him, so we learn as much as he learns.
There's certain things like the equipment that they have. This isn't really explained like in depth right now. We know that exists and like it's their powers and stuff, but like the way that the Foreign Affairs kind of deals with stuff, it's still not entirely explained by chapter 7. I don't feel. No,
not really. You just know that there's a bunch of different equipment. It seems to be within like a wristwatch.
Yeah.
Or what, you know, like it's in a watch. Looks like a smartwatch of some sort for Hajime. Tatsumi doesn't use equipment yet, but that's because his arm is equipment, kind of.
Yeah.
I swear at one point they say it's like similar to equipment. So like they feel like he doesn't quite need to use anything yet. He should just learn to use his arm.
Yeah. Right now it's like trying to like, because when he first uses it, he doesn't know how he's done it. He just does it. But then like slowly and surely, like he starts like researching and he's like trying to work out how to stop using his power and how to start using it. So he's still learning. Like you said, he's learning on the job right now how to use this thing. It's quite cool that I do quite appreciate the like sort of like teacher-student relationship that Hajime and Tatsumi have right now.
Yeah,
it's quite cool to see that kind of thing. You know that like how'd you make it like step up if need be? Like I think it's like chapter 3 or 4 that you see him like really like go into like, okay, cool, I need to step up and fight this assassin kind of thing. Like this.
I mean, even like in chapter 7, he's like that. You know, like he's still mysterious enough that it's like, oh, he might not be able to do it. And it's like, no, he's cool. He's cool because, you know, he's the sensei. He's protag powers. Like,
Yeah.
He's all good. But I do also kind of like it. It's sort of like, if you think about it, it's been done before in all sorts of mediums, you know, like, oh, aliens and stuff are everywhere and they come to Earth and Earth is nothing to them because we're like a primitive civilization to all the other aliens, right?
Yeah.
But like at the same time, I feel like the way that this manga has set itself up, it could have like stories for ages because you can just always make up aliens.
Yeah.
They can always have something unique unless you run out of ideas. I feel like this one on paper could go for a long time, like if this story allows it to, you know what I mean? And
I get you mean, yeah.
Jump as well, like if they allow it to.
Yeah,
because like it's, you know, all the aliens, Earth is called an alien area. That's like sort of a, how do they describe it? Almost like
it's like kind of like outlaws kind of
Yeah.
thing. So it's like aliens will come down and just like cause havoc or whatever, and that's where
not regulated. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, regulated. There we go, regulated.
Yeah, there's no like regulation or like jurisdiction. It's a no man's land, like a wasteland kind of thing to the aliens.
Yeah.
So they can come to our planet and just like start fucking shit up because they feel like it.
And yeah, it's only like the foreign affairs that are kind of like put in check at the moment. But yeah, it's an interesting one for story because it's very sci-fi. If anything, it kind of gives me. You never read World Trigger, did you?
I read 5 chapters, I think.
Yeah, you kind of got like the gist of the story there. It's like kind of neighbors and
Yeah,
like, aliens coming down, like, and then it's up to.
I can see what you mean by that comparison.
I think that's probably the closest thing we have to it at the moment. It's decent. I think it's a good story to start off with, like you said. It is whether Jump kind of allows for the story to continue as far as it does, and if readers are engaged, really. Because, like you said, it is a good like world setting straight away. Like, you know for a fact that there's multiple species, there's good and bad aliens, there's like all sorts that can go down right now. But yeah, like it's, as you said, early days. See how it goes. I think like the art is really cool as well.
Yeah,
it's kind of typical shonen art. Like if that kind of makes sense. Like
no, yeah, I know what you mean. It's like it's that kind of refined but unrefined. You know, like it's got lots of the nice clean shapes, but then when it needs to, it's got like all those like speed lines and stuff. I think it's ever since like the dawn of like One Punch Man animation that everybody's started going for that more like raw look.
Yeah.
I hate to bring up One Punch Man all the time, but like,
yeah,
it did change a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, there's like it comes through with like the mad like massive panels and stuff like that, and like detailed drawings. Like the thing that like in terms of story, I feel like it's very similar to World Trigger, but in terms of art, you know, I kind of compared it a little bit just while I was reading. Like it's kind of like very similar to Demon Slayer. I don't know if you felt that at all.
I actually didn't get that comparison. No.
There's certain things like when they do the what is it, more the simplistic faces here and there. It kind of reminds you of Tanjiro does that kind of bit. Like some of the character faces kind of felt a bit like Demon Slayer-y a bit. That's like my opinion. That's how I'd immediately compare it to. In terms of character design. One thing I do mention though, like, is in the first chapter, you know, where he realizes he has his power. So basically, his right arm ends up turning black, and then he's just doing like the whole like massive arm, like stretchy kind of thing.
Yeah.
My immediate thought was like, this looks like One Piece. What the fuck? Man's got the hacky going on. Got the stretchy limbs. It's like, oh, okay. One Piece's 25th anniversary. Yeah, go on, chuck it.
It's One Piece with a bit of Shokugeki no Soma in it, because you know he then wraps it up and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, he's gonna pull that bandage off and tie it around his head and be like, now action starts.
Oh my god, we've got now.
Do you know what I mean?
It's that kind of vibe.
I mean,
Uh,
we're making our stupid observations. We're taking a piss a bit now, but like, it generally is like an all right read.
I think it's all right. Yeah, for what it is.
Like, it's I don't know. I don't want it to sound like a harsh criticism.
Mm.
It's not like super super engaging. It's not like when we
No.
read like Diamond in the Rough or whatever. Like, and you got attached straight away, or
Mm.
whatever other favorite ones we have at the moment. They don't register in my brain or last year. But like, it's an all right read. It feels like it's got plenty of room to grow,
Mm-hmm.
and it's probably going to get better. So like, go out and try it.
I'd say it's one of those ones that I think it's a very easy read. I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
the first chapter, like when a new manga starts in Jump, they always get the 52 pages, don't they?
Yeah, and sometimes it's a bit of a slog.
Yeah. See, this one I didn't actually find it was that bad.
Yeah, I didn't either. I got through it quite quickly.
I got through it really quickly for this, and like there are some chapters I feel like what is it, Doron Doron. I felt like that had a really good first chapter.
That dragged.
See, I thought it had a really good first chapter.
No, not the first chapter. I just meant like in general. There's like sections of Doron that dragged.
Oh, the whole series as a whole. Yeah, I can. I've kind of dropped off it a lot. I don't see myself picking up it. Like,
I still read it, but it's sort of like, I don't know. Yeah, like I don't have that attachment. But like,
yeah.
you're right. I hadn't really thought about it that much, but yeah, you're right. This is quite an easy read,
Mm-hmm.
and at no point have I been like bored.
No, they don't like throw you into the deep end with all these details of like, oh, here's this power, this how this power works, or whatever. It's like literally like aliens are here, they're here to fuck shit up. fuck shit up. Fuck shit up. They're here to fuck shit up. And it's just like they don't slog you down in details of how powers work. Like right now we've got the equipment stuff, but as I said, it hasn't gone into detail with it so far. It's very easy for someone to read.
Yeah, we've only seen like practical demonstrations as well.
Exactly, yeah. It's very hands-on. We'll probably find out more about it like as the series goes on as well. We've got more characters introduced as well. Like what was it? We've got
Yeah, there was the whole division itself, like the detectives, but didn't note those names down. So
yeah, Hajime's Division 5. Yeah, because it's still early days with that. Like we've only really just had the intro to him, and there isn't really much else.
yeah, all of those other detectives have also only been in like a chapter.
Yeah.
Practically. So and it's also good if we don't tell you too much, because now you can go and read it.
Exactly, yeah. Like we've as I said, it's very early days, 7 chapters in. There's not a whole lot we can really say about it anyway.
Yeah.
But for first impression, I think it's pretty decent.
Yeah.
For like I'd give it like I'd read it. It's good.
Yeah, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, like it's not bad.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, if we were to scale it, yeah. Like I think it's just a standard shonen to me.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. Nothing overly amazing about it. It's just decent. It's a decent read.
Yeah, it's a good addition to Shonen Jump, and it'll probably get better, providing the fans engage. But yeah, like it's an easy read, and it's a fairly easy recommendation, I feel like.
Absolutely, yeah. I can agree with that.
Cool.
Sweet. Okay then. So with that done, should we move on to our second series then?
Yes.
Yes.
So the second series is Ruri Dragon, written and illustrated by Masaoki Shindo, published June 13th, 2022. So pretty much right after, like a week after. And the story is just about this girl, Ruri, who one day discovers she's half dragon. And that's it, really.
It is that's the thing that usually we go into like a bit more detail with these stories and stuff, but literally the whole story is that Ruri just finds out she's half dragon. When she wakes up, she finds out she has horns.
Yeah.
And asks her mum's like, hey, like, mum, what's up with that? Why have I got horns? And then the mum just nonchalantly just goes like, oh yeah, you have horns, that's interesting. Well, I've got to go somewhere, you got to go to school, bye.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's the thing about this series is like, that's the thing, like I would go into more detail about what goes in around it, but it is literally that. It's a girl who has to adjust to life, finding out she's half dragon. She has to go to school, live life like she normally does, but everyone's like, hold on, what's this? Is this like some kind of what's this style you're going for?
What's up with the cosplay? Like, yeah.
And like she's like, oh no, I've just got horns. And then everyone's like, oh, okay, that's fine. And this is the one thing that really gets me about this series, is that usually when we have these, like, it's these kind of series, it's people react differently. They're like, oh my god, what, you have horns? That's mad. But everyone in this series makes me laugh because they act so nonchalantly about these fucking horns and the fact that she might be half dragon. Everyone's like, oh, okay, fair. And it's like,
I mean, like, yeah, especially because they're in high school. I feel like they would react way bigger than that. Like, even when she,
Yeah.
like, some of the boys in the class are what you'd expect. Like,
yeah,
whoa, what is that? What are you?
yeah,
Are you an experiment? Are you a mutant?
yeah, bioweapon.
Yeah, like some of the guys reacted in a way you would expect, but a lot of the
Yeah.
female characters just like, huh, that's an interesting look you chose today. Cool.
Yeah.
What's with that? And you know, like, but I think it's hard to explain because this is also like, even though it's in Jump, it's like a slice of life kind of.
It is very slice of lifey, but it's not a heavy slice of life. You know
No.
what I mean? When you get like a few slice of life series in Jump, like sometimes it is a very like sort of melancholic feel at the start. It's like, oh, I have this like problem or whatever. I feel like I've got to deal with this on a day-to-day basis. This is like what happens with my family. But with this, realistically, she's just a girl that's just woken up and found out she has dragon DNA,
Pretty much.
and that's like there's no like real hardship in the series. There's no like, oh my god,
Not at the moment.
no, not right now anyway.
I mean, the hardest thing she's dealt with was when she breathed fire for the first time.
Yeah,
And everyone was
like,
freaking out.
yeah, you wouldn't you if you were in class? And then
Yeah, I
suddenly,
mean,
like,
yeah,
this
you
fucking-
would. But like, I don't know. It feels like, it just feels like this is going to be one of those sort of, again, like easier reads.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Almost like it feels like one of those things that I can't fully recommend to someone. It is one of those where it's like, I don't know if anyone would actually like it. You just got to read it, and if you do end up enjoying it, keep reading it. But if you don't, then you're not missing out on anything technically, because like sort of nothing really happens.
It's one of those series, right, where I think it depends on how you place it. Because in Jump, it feels a bit odd.
Oh, incredibly off.
But in terms of like the world of manga and anime, I think I read this like the full 5 chapters, and I was like, I feel like this could be just a standalone anime series.
Yeah.
I feel like this could be like literally like the fact that there's 5 chapters out right now. I think you could probably summarize the first 2 in the space of like 1 chapter, maybe
Yeah, like an episode.
1 episode, even 1 episode. Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? Now that you said that, like, if this got an anime and somebody said to you, "Oh, yeah, it's based off of a light novel," I'd be like, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is the kind of thing where it doesn't feel right in Jump. However, I feel like in the wider manga and anime universe, this would absolutely like, I think this could be like a good seasonal anime that turns up like every now and then, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. It's wholesome.
Yeah.
This is the one thing about it. It's a very wholesome series.
If it wasn't a seasonal anime, I feel like this is one of those sort of like somebody's passion animation project that you found on like YouTube or something.
Absolutely, yeah.
Don't get me wrong, right? People are probably hearing this and thinking like, oh, they hate it, like, but I actually like this.
I think it's a breath of fresh air, you know.
Yeah, it's super weird to be in Jump.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. I don't quite understand how it's in Jump, but at the same time, compared to everything else I've been reading in Jump, I actually kind of do like this. It's a palate cleanser, you know, like after all the tropes, all the battling that I love, then I get to just read this wholesome story about a girl just trying to get by when she's a little different.
Yeah. I mean, she's very relatable at some points as well, where it's like she's just like woken up, like she just played Switch games or whatever.
Yeah.
Like after she found out she's a dragon, and then her mum comes and is like, okay, you gotta go to school, and then meanwhile she's like, nah. And then like literally just physically drags her out of bed to like just.
And it's also like, you know, all those times where like, I think that's the same chapter where she's like, no, the chapter after where her mom's like, didn't you say you were going to school? Yeah, I don't want to go to school. I don't feel like it. I changed my mind. It's like stuff like that is super relatable, and I think that's kind of why I like it as well.
Yeah.
It feels like Ruri Dragon, and this is probably going to get me in trouble in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it feels like the Ruri Dragon has the same sort of like formula or like DNA as like a Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a teenage character that's given powers and is different, but is still just trying to be a normal kid.
Yeah.
Living the normal kid life, but they're like
Absolutely.
extraordinary in some way.
This is the one thing about this as well, is that right now, in the world of Ruri Dragon, she's the only one that has these powers. Like,
Well, her and her dad.
her and her dad, yeah, anyway, who's the dragon. But in the wider end of characters we've been introduced to, like, usually when it comes to these series, it's like, what is it, by the 2nd chapter or something, or by the 3rd chapter, there's some really goofy, like, secondary character that comes in, like, hey, I'm, like, I'm a kappa or something like that.
Yeah, or like, it'll be the, if it's not the goofy, like, sidekick friend, it's like the rival that comes in and is all
Exactly.
brooding. It's like, ugh, you're a disappointment. I hate humans, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and This is what I feel like. It's actually really nice because everyone around Ruri is just normal. And that is what like kind of lends it to the series.
Yeah, I mean, even in like chapter 4 and 5,
Mm.
it's Rory being prejudiced against someone else.
Mm.
She's just heard of this person in her class,
Yeah.
and she's like, I don't like this, but they're too much of an extrovert. Ugh.
Yeah.
And then she goes out with a girl, and they're like, the girl's really nice. She's like, oh, actually, this is cool.
Yeah, and then they go to Starbucks and stuff, and
Yeah, like
there's this one like whole like detailed page about why it's so nerve-wracking to go into Starbucks, and I found that hilarious.
I thought that was hilarious, mainly because I was like, I couldn't relate. Even the first time I went into Starbucks, I was like, okay, you just go in and tell them what you want. I guess some people do get the anxiety of like that Rory does, like, oh, there's so many choices, and then what if you pick the wrong thing? And like,
I did feel like that's the thing about Japanese Starbucks as well. I remember like when we went there, it was literally like I feel like it's a bigger thing in Japan. Like I think there's the style of like what you do in a Starbucks. Like me and you, we just literally just go in, grab your coffee, and then walk out. Whereas like, I feel like Starbucks in Japan feels like a place where you have to like just sit down, like use your laptop or whatever, use whatever device you've got, write something. Like that's what I felt. It felt really busy when like I went to a Starbucks.
That's because in Japan they like to sit in a place. They don't like to go home.
Yeah.
So places like Starbucks is perfect because they don't kick you out. You can be there as long as you want. And because it's Japan, you can leave your stuff at the table and no one's going to move your stuff and be like, oh, no one's sitting here.
Yeah.
They look at the table or whatever and go, oh, that's someone's stuff. I can't sit there. And then they move on.
Yeah.
But like, I kind of understand, in Japan at least, I can understand the whole like fear of Starbucks because they have seasonal stuff and their menu seems like way bigger. But at the same time, like, I've been into Japanese Starbucks as a foreigner, walked up to the counter, pointed at the thing on the menu, one please, and then, paid and off I go. Like, it's not that big a problem.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's still funny even as a foreigner.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I've still been to Japanese Starbucks and not had a problem, but okay.
Exactly. But like, yeah, the last few chapters anyway have been very chill. I've enjoyed it really. I don't think there's been any like glaring issues that I can see. I think it's just a normal kind of, I'd say normal. Okay, here's one thing that I think, going off on the topic of what I was saying, I've just gone for a sentence and then just like gone just changed my mind. I was gonna say something and I'm fuck it, I'm gonna say something else now. Here's something that I feel like we said that it's very non-like Jump to put something like this out. But do you feel like it's a way of Jump trying to test the waters for a series that wouldn't necessarily be there, but like in the current anime landscape right now, where we have a lot of series come through that are a bit more wholesome and light-hearted, like slice of lifey kind of things? Do you think this is their way of being like, hey, this is like, we've been going through canceling series, putting out new series, and some of them just don't stick? Do you think this is them trying something different?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
This is still right, and this is nothing against Ruri Dragon, but it's as me and Pepe have said so many times in our manga reviews, this is just another Jump throwing things at the wall to see what sticks. And now all they've done is they've expanded their search a little bit. Before they were like battles, then they were like unconventional battles, then it was like slice of life but with some sort of conflict. Now they've expanded again ever so slightly to just slice of life, no conflict at the moment.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like this is Jump just trying to find that next thing and realizing that maybe the things we have that have made us what we are still good, but we need to expand our horizons slightly.
Absolutely, yeah.
The tastes are changing. People are changing. We need to try and change.
I'd say so, because like right now, when you look at the current like contents table of Jump, we've got a whole bunch of different supernatural series. We've got loads of shonen right now. We've got like a few comedies with like Witch Watch and what was it? High School Family, like those kind of things. We've got like a fair few different branches of series, and right now, like, this seems like very different to what else we have in Jump. So maybe it is just like,
yeah, to be fair, like, the only thing I can say even remotely seemed like the similar to this in Jump is probably Blue Box.
Do you think?
Yeah, because it's still got those slice of life elements, and it like balances between like the battles of sports and like just being teenagers.
Yeah.
It's the like slice of life parts of Blue Box that like sort of translate to this. But beyond that, this is like sort of wholly its own thing.
Yeah.
Because like it doesn't have the sort of like weird unconventional battles in the same way that like, you know, Akane Banashi has. Or PPPPP, even though I don't read it. Or Witch Watch, you know what I mean? Like those series have some sort of conflict. Whereas like even Earthchild has some sort of conflict, right? But this has no immediate conflict, like nothing that would be like, oh, this is world changing, this is gonna change the lives of everybody. It's literally just Ruri's half dragon. She's got to figure it out with her mum. You know, her mum's asked her dad a whole bunch of stuff, but he's not in the picture because he's a dragon. She doesn't really want to meet him because he's not been around, and then just going to school and being a kid.
Yeah, it is interesting to see how far this will go as well if they stick to this formula, because right now I don't like, obviously there needs to be story progression. I'm sure her dragon powers will develop even more,
but even then there's only so many like dragon like powers you can gain, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like fire breath is like the big one. She's got horns, she can breathe fire, and what's next? Like skin gets hard or something?
Well, she's is healing as well, like
yeah,
healing,
I guess. Like
things.
Is she gonna be able to fly? I don't know.
Like I mean, in one of the recent cover pages, I mean, she did have wings in it, so maybe it is like something they're hinting towards, like maybe like she will grow wings, or maybe it's just art, who knows.
Yeah, that's the thing, like with it, when you say it's a cover thing, I'm like, yeah, but you can put almost anything for a cover, you know, it doesn't have to relate fully back to what's in the chapters.
Yeah.
So like I think that's the thing that's also keeping me around for this series, is like how more dragon is she gonna get?
Yeah,
because like she's only half, so does that mean she's just gonna look like a mini dragon, as in like just a kid cosplaying as a dragon with horns, tiny wings, and like a little tail? Or is she not? You know what I mean? Like you just don't know how the author is gonna go with this.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the direction they take with this, because right now, yeah, it's 5 chapters in, so very early days. Yeah, I probably will just stick with this and just see where, like you said, where it goes. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, for the time being, I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah,
it's still building. You know, it's lighthearted and it's nice.
Yeah,
it's just pleasant. It's inoffensive, and it's
literally, yeah,
it's just a pleasant, quick little read.
It's a series that, like, if you think about it, we've gone through so many of these manga reviews saying this is tropey, this has been done before, and realistically this is one of the first series we've read where it's like this doesn't feel too tropey, like compared to what else we've read in Jump.
Yeah, I mean, this is outside of my like comfort zone, quote unquote, as well. Like I don't normally read this kind of slice of life.
Yeah,
like because normally this would never be on my radar. Like I would never read this.
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe I'm getting old, my tastes have changed, but like I think it's all right. Like I'm enjoying it so far.
Nathan, see, this is the thing, you've watched so many different anime series now, and you're expanding your knowledge, and now you're expanding your manga like circle of reading.
Yeah, like
look at that. Don't
you dare bring in expanding anime horizon, okay? Like outside of these random anime reviews we do for Cultured Boys, like I would never touch any of that stuff, but
I know you would. It's good. It's fine, Nathan. You can it's okay to read these things. you can enjoy these things, Nathan. It's fine. You don't have to shut yourself away.
But I like my fighting. I like my no brain fighting.
Yeah, I like my punchy. But yeah, that's is there much else we have to say about these?
No, it's because there's so few chapters, let's say, right?
Yeah.
They're super early on. They only started like a month ago, so there aren't a whole lot of chapters to go off. And they're still building, they're both still growing, but I think it's easy to say we both recommend these. Go off and try them.
Yeah.
And see what you think. Like, they're pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say they're both like pretty decent starts to stories. I don't feel like I'm put off by anything in these series. So yeah, like right now it is a wait and see how it turns out. But in terms of the early stages of chapters, yeah, like Nathan said, go check it out. See what you think.
So with that, thanks for listening, guys. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, hit that bell button so you get notified. Leave us a comment if you did read it. Tell us what you thought, and check us out on podcast platforms. We've got the links in the description. We'll catch you next week for another episode of Culture Boys. Bye, guys.
See ya.